Thanks for joining me again today on Allergy Friendly Cooking with Amanda. Today we're going to make snack foods, and they're all going to be allergy friendly. And when I say that, I mean no wheat, dairy, peanuts, tree nuts, soy, egg, fish, or shellfish. If you have any of those in there, those are the 8 common allergens, and so that's why we're not going to use them. And today we're going to start with granola bars. These are the best granola bars I've ever had, and my favorite that I used to get at the store were the chewy kind, and these are just like them except better. And we're going to start off with 2 cups of oats, and these are gluten-free oats, and it's not one of the allergens, but I like to use gluten-free products, so those are gluten-free oats. And then 1 cup of Rice Krispies, and then you just mix these together. And then we're going to set this aside and move back to the oven. In a small saucepan, we're going to add a 1/3 cup of brown sugar and a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. I'm using the organic kind today. It has a little bit of coconut flavor, and I like that in these granola bars. Just a little hint. It's not real strong, but it gives it just the right taste. So 1/4 cup of this, and then a 1/4 cup of honey. And then we're going to heat this on a medium-high heat just until boiling. And then we will add a little vanilla after it starts to boil. Now that it's come to a boil, I'm going to let it cook for 2 minutes. We're going to turn the heat down a little bit so that it doesn't boil over, and just let it start simmering. We boiled it for 2 minutes, and it's at a nice foamy consistency, and we're going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla. Make sure you don't add this vanilla while it is on the oven and while it's boiling, because it will cook all that vanilla flavor out, and we don't want that because it makes it taste extra good. And it'll bubble up a little bit when you add it, and just stir it all together. So that steam coming out, it smells really good. And then we're going to add this to our oats and Rice Krispie mixture. Kind of pour it over the top and around. This almost like caramelizes and it helps it to stick together, the granola bars. I really, really love granola bars. I love them so much that whenever I was living at home, I would have my mom buy them, and then I would hide them in my room so that my brothers and sisters couldn't eat them. And I know that's really bad now, because that wasn't very fair, but I really, really like them. So I'm glad that I found a granola recipe, or I have made one that will work for my allergy-friendly cooking and that my son can have. And I like I said, I like them better than the store-bought ones. Now, if you would want to add in some raisins or some craisins, you could even add in a little flax to this. This would be the time to do it. I'm not going to add any of that in because we're some chocolate nuts around here. So I have I just used a little coconut oil on a 12-by-8 pan and with a napkin, and grease the bottom of this. And you're going to pour this in here after you get it all mixed up so it's all moist. And then we're going to press it into the pan so that they'll stick together. Just press them down. I want to make sure they're pressed in there tight so that they don't come apart whenever you go to cut them. And now is the time too that you can add some chocolate chips. I'm gonna add some allergy-friendly chocolate chips to it, and I just put a little in my hand and sprinkle it across the top. I'd say it's about 2 tablespoons. And then once you get those on there, just gently press down on them so that they kind of sink into the granola bar. And then you'll just set it aside and let it cool, and it will start to harden. And since we didn't use dairy, this has a long shelf life. All you have to do is put a lid on it or cover it with plastic, and it will be ready to eat, and it will last a long time. Now we'll be making some allergy-friendly Rice Krispies. I really like this recipe because it's easy. It's so easy. All kids like it. And you add in a 1 10-ounce bag of marshmallows into a large saucepan and 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. And there's not much to change in this recipe if you were going to make it allergy-friendly or not allergy-friendly. And then we're going to put it on the oven and cook it on a low heat until it melts. You can see here they're starting to melt together. And just keep stirring them so they don't stick to the bottom of the pan. Now that it's all melted, we're going to turn the heat off and add a teaspoon of vanilla. And remove it from the heat so that it doesn't cook the vanilla out. We're going to stir that in just a little bit, and once it's stirred in, we're going to add in 6 cups of the Krispie treat, or the Rice Krispies. And stir that all together. Once this is all stirred together really well and sticking together good, then we're going to put it in a greased 13 by 9 pan. So we're just going to put this Rice Krispie and marshmallow mixture in the pan, and yes, it's going to be very sticky. Ooh, like a spider web. Then whenever we get it all in there, we're going to use the back of a spoon and some coconut oil to help smooth it out. You can't use this spoon because, as you notice, it's sticking to it. And you can't use your fingers because it will stick to them too. So I'm going to get my spoon and coconut oil here. Just put a little on the back of it and start smoothing it out. See how nicely that makes it go and it doesn't stick to it, and you might just get a little more once you're over here. And just press down and spread it through the whole pan. And then once you get it all spread out in the pan, then you can just set it aside and let it set up for a little bit, and it'll be easier to cut. And again, since we didn't use any dairy in this, it has a long shelf life, and you can just cover it up with plastic wrap or in an airtight container, and it'll keep for a long time. We're going to make pizza bites. A friend of mine, Nish, brought these to a Super Bowl party. They weren't gluten-free, they weren't allergy-friendly, but I asked her for the recipe because they were really good, and it looked really easy to convert. So here I am making this allergy-friendly one off of her regular recipe. So first we're going to add in 3/4 cup of flour, and I'm using my gluten-free flour mix. And I made it on a previous show, so if you want to find that, it's cvalley.net. They have it on their website. Or you can send an email to recipes@sheratonvalley.com and they will send it to you. And then we have 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. and 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Then we're going to stir those together. And now that this is just mixed together, we're going to add in some rice milk. 3/4 cup. And a 1/4 cup of applesauce. I know you might think it sounds crazy to put some applesauce in a pizza dough, but you can't taste the applesauce at all. And this is replacing the egg. So we're going to blend the milk and the applesauce all together. And after we get it blended together, we'll just set it aside. It'll be kind of a liquidy, doughy consistency, just about like that. And there will be some lumps in it, and that's all right. So we're going to move this over to the side, and we're going to cut up some pepperonis and some ham to put in it. So just get however many pepperonis you want, however much ham you want. And then I like to use a pizza cutter. It's really handy for more uses than just cutting pizza. You can cut it into little bite-sized pieces to put in the pizza bites. Same thing with the pepperoni. And then we're going to add that to the dough. And after we get that added in there, we'll stir it together. I mixed in the pepperoni and the ham, and then I'm going to add in some cheese, about a 1/2 cup. Make sure it's rice cheese, mozzarella, and then I'm going to stir that in. And then they're ready to put in the mini muffin cups. These are also great for a pizza night. If you're busy, which I know so many families are, and you want to have a frozen pizza night, but you have somebody that can't have one, these are great to put in the freezer and then just warm them up later. And then they can have a pizza night just like you. So I've oiled this with some coconut oil, and I'm going to use my scoop, my favorite little scoop that I use for everything, and scoop them out one by one into the little cups. The first time I made these, I wanted to make sure I made a lot of them, so I made them like this because I wanted some extra to freeze so that my son could have them later. And he ended up eating 11 of them in one sitting. So he really, really liked them, which I'm thankful for. The next time, I think I'll have to double the recipe, and you might as well if you plan on doing that. So I'm going to put them in a 375 preheated oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Now we're going to be making some puppy chow. This is one of my favorite little snacks, and usually it's a seasonal kind of snack, like around Christmas time, but I don't know why, because it's so good that we should just have it all the time. So that's what I do here at my house. And we're going to add in 1/2 cup of sun butter in a large saucepan. And then a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. And a 1/2 bag of allergy-friendly chocolate chunks. I use the chunks. You can use the chips. It doesn't really matter as long as it's allergy-friendly. about half a cup. And then we're gonna cook it on low heat on the oven until it's all melted together. Now that this is all melted, it's nice and smooth, I'm gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla in it. And once again, we're gonna take it off the heat so that it doesn't cook the vanilla flavor out. And I think it's the coconut oil that I put in this, but it makes this really smooth and it covers the Chex Mix really nicely. So you put in 9 cups of Chex Mix. It doesn't matter what kind. Sometimes I use rice Chex. Today I'm using corn Chex. Put it all in and then stir it until there's a nice even chocolate coat on all of the Chex. See it starting to get covered there. Now that this is completely covered, I've set a bowl aside that has a lid, and I put just a little bit of powdered sugar in the bottom of it, and I'm going to spoon just a little bit into this bowl. I kind of do it in layers, so I put a little bit of puppy chow, and then I'm going to add in some more powdered sugar on top of it, just a little, just to cover. And then I'm going to add more puppy chow. Then another layer of powdered sugar. This just helps it coat with the powdered sugar really evenly, and it doesn't stick to the sides of this bowl either. Okay, we'll do one more layer. This. Whoops. Then put the rest of our puppy chow on top. Look at all that yummy chocolate coming out here. And I'm going to put a little bit of more powdered sugar on the very top just so it doesn't stick to the lid when we start to shake it up. So now we're going to put the lid on and shake it so it coats all of it very evenly. Such an easy way to do this too. And after you've shaken it a little bit, open it up. And you have your puppy chow. It's good. Well, the oven's been beeping and it looks like they're done, so I'm going to pull these pizza bites out and give them a try. Alongside of these, I have some pizza sauce. Just warm it up in the microwave and make sure you read the label so that you don't get a pizza sauce that has any of the allergens in it. I just take a knife to slide around the edges of them, and they come out real nicely. They're too hot to try right now, so we'll let them cool off for just a bit before we give them a try. They smell really good, though. Well, this concludes our episode of Allergy Friendly Cooking with Amanda. I'm going to give these little pizza bites a try. Look at that. Really good. The pepperoni and ham in there just gives it the right flavor. Got our Rice Krispie treats, our allergy friendly granola bars, and our puppy chow. Well, if you want any of these recipes, you can send an email to recipes@sheratonvalley.com, and I hope you join me next time.